Alright, welcome back guys. Today I'm going to be showcasing Pinnacle Souveran Paste Wax. I'll share my thoughts of what it's like to work with the wax here, and I'll go ahead and put it through the water test as well. I just want to get a baseline result of how it behaves with water. And then these results might help us to understand how the wax degrades over time and how durable it is. So Pinnacle is a very popular boutique or professional brand here in the United States. And they're owned by Palm Beach Motoring Group, which also owns many of the other enthusiast brands like Blackfire and Wolfgang and Detailers Pro. And PBMG also owns AutoGeek.net, so this is where you're going to be able to find all the Pinnacle products and a lot of the enthusiast and professional brands here in the United States. And so what Pinnacle Souveran is this is their premium show car wax. So this is the wax that's advertised to bring out the best gloss and depth and shine out of the paint, especially if you're working on dark paints like black or red. And the standard price for Pinnacle Souveran is $95 for 8 ounces. So I went ahead and applied Souveran to the right side fender and the right side hood. And then I'm placing it up against S100 Paste Wax. I've got it on the left side fender and the left side hood facing the car here. And the reason I'm putting these two together is if you're a fan of S100 and you like the way that that wax feels, the physical characteristics of the wax, it's a little bit harder. If you run your finger across the top of it, you're really going to bring out the oils. Then you're really going to enjoy working with Pinnacle Souveran. And I'm a huge fan of this style of paste wax. It's a little bit harder. It's really easy to get a nice even coat across the applicator pad, and they spread super easily across the paint panel as well. And they're also both wipe on, wipe off sort of waxes, so you don't have to wait for anything to dry over before you begin to remove it from the paint. They're not going to be difficult to remove if you do happen to wait a little bit. S100 really makes the note that you want to get it off before it dries. And Pinnacle Souveran here really seems to melt into the paintwork as you're going over it with the applicator pad. So it's difficult to over apply it as well. It just seems to be super easy to apply and remove no matter what I do. And Souveran also goes on the paint clear, so you can apply it on trim. It's not going to stain it. There's no chalky white residue or any sort of dusting that appears on the paint as well when you're removing it. So this is one of the easiest paste waxes to work with. And you can see here on the water test, this is a very aggressive water beading product at the beginning. But Souveran is not known for its durability. So in between that 1 to 2 month time period is when you want to start to think about reapplying it to the paint. And so that's why this wax is regarded as a show car wax, because you're not going to get the durability like you would out of a colonite wax. But if you're the type of person that likes to wash and wax often, or you're working on something that's not a daily driver, then Souveran is advertised to give you the most performance out of both ease of use and gloss and shine and depth out of the paintwork. Now what you have to decide is if that extra ease of use and if the extra gloss and depth, if you can see it and notice it, is it really worth the premium price of $95 for 8 ounces above other choices? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a lot more about the pricing, especially with regards to other choices that are both more expensive and less expensive than Souveran. But first I'm going to test short-term durability by getting the soap out. We're going to wash the test sections off and see how well the waxes hold up after washing with soap. Alright, so I've soaped the car down. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and continue rinsing to see if we can notice a difference in the surface tension of the products. And as I do this, I'll talk about the pricing structure of Pinnacle Souveran. So $95 for 8 ounces is definitely a premium price, but Pinnacle Souveran is competing against waxes that are at a much higher pricing point. And so what they did is they set out to formulate a wax that would compete directly against Zymol's Destiny Estate Glaze. And as of this video review, Zymol Destiny is currently $882 for 8 ounces. And there are a lot of waxes out on the market that are really at that extremely high pricing point. You've got the other Zymol Estate Glazes. There's Atlantique, Vintage, Royale, and Swiss Wax has a line of exclusive waxes like Crystal Rock and Divine. These are all waxes that are well above the $1,000 range. And if you look at the $200 to $600 range, you're going to find an even vaster amount of products which are really trying to market towards that show car scene or the exotic car scene. And these waxes sell, and they sell because they grab that perception that this is the best wax that the money can buy. And so what Pinnacle wanted to do is they wanted to formulate a wax that would grab that performance of the gloss and depth that some of these higher priced exclusive waxes were bringing to the table, and sell it for a price that's going to make much more sense for a larger market of buyers. And this wax is very highly rated. If you read some of the reviews, there's just a ton of outstanding reviews for Pinnacle Souveran. And many of the reviewers note that you can really see the difference in the finish of the paint between Pinnacle Souveran and many of the other waxes out in the market. Now that being said, on this particular color, I cannot notice any difference between the finish that Pinnacle Souveran leaves behind compared to S100. And this is a lighter blue color. The other test card that I work on is a lighter silver. And so unfortunately, I'm working on colors that are not known to be a strength of the show car waxes. And so I'll finish this up by comparing S100 and Pinnacle Souveran to each other. If we ignore price, Pinnacle Souveran is the better paste wax to work with. It's slightly easier to apply and remove compared to S100. And it smells 10 times better than S100 does. It's a nice smelling wax. And most of the reviews that I've seen of S100 or P21S Concord compared to Pinnacle Souveran is Souveran does leave a better finish on darker paints like blacks and reds. But for me, on this particular color, I can say that S100 is the better value for the price, because there's a lot of products that you can get for $95. You can get the S100, you can get Sonax Polymer Net Shield and Brilliant Shine Detailer, Meguiar's high-tech wax, and still be well under the $95 range. But then again, I'd rather have Pinnacle Souveran and a ton of other products as opposed to spending $882 on Zymol Destiny, which is directly what Pinnacle Souveran competes against. But if you check on autogeek.net or autopiacarcare.com, these stores usually have a big sale on Pinnacle Souveran every once in a while. This particular jar was $40 for the 8 ounces. And it also comes with an applicator pad, a microfiber towel, and a little wax cover bag. So to close the video out, I mean, I really enjoy working with Pinnacle Souveran. I think it's one of the easiest paste waxes that I've worked with. And when we take a look at the show car wax marketplace and see the prices that some of these waxes are at, I think the $95 starts to make a lot more sense. So I've got Wolfgang Fusion out too. I'm going to put those two up against each other. We'll see how they do. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this is helpful. I'll see you guys in the next video.